Today is day 252 of Blender, and today I'm going to do a 3D text with this font that I got from defont.com. It's called Sega Arcade, and I'm going to open up Blender, General. I'm going to go to the top and click on Geometry Nodes, and then I'm going to hide the spreadsheet and click on New for a new Geometry Node system. And then I'm going to disconnect the input from the output, and then I'll do Shift A to get a String to Curves node and connect that curve instances to the geometry. Then nothing happens because I don't have anything set as my string yet. So I'll put in something like PACMAN, and then I notice that it's flat and I want it to be standing. So I'll do Shift A and get a transform node and put that in between and change the X rotation to be 90. And that's just telling the text to, hey, I want you to rotate 90 degrees along the red line, which is the red axis, right? So then from there, I'm going to give it some fill. So I'll do Shift A and get a fill curve node and put that in here. And I'll change the fill type to n-gons. And then I'll do Shift A and get an extrude mesh node and put that in here and change the offset value to 0.1, and that just basically gives the letter some thickness. So if I increase, it'll give it more of a thickness. All right, but then if I look at the back, I notice that it's open. It's not filled in the back, it's hollow. So to fix that, I'll do Shift A and get a join geometry node and put that in here and connect the fill curve along with the extrude mesh to the geometry. And it's going to join both of those effects or both of those nodes together. I also wanted to mention the reason I changed the fill type to be n-gons instead of triangles is because if I go to wireframe mode and I'm in triangles, I notice that the vertices are very, very messy if I'm in triangles. So if I change that to n-gons, that fixes things. Right, so that's kind of it for that. Now I'm going to do Shift A and get a set material and put that right in here and select the material here. Then I'm going to go back to the string to curves node where there is an F, and then I'm going to go to the folder. I'm going to go to the folder, excuse me, and I'm going to open up the font, and that's what it looks like. And then I'm going to go into material properties, and then I think I'll go to material preview at the top right corner so I can see it, and maybe change it to yellow, something like that. And then to see it better, I'll go to layout and then I'll do Shift A mesh, add a plane to add a backdrop. And then I'll do S and then 3 to scale the plane 3 meters, G to grab the plane, and then X to grab along the X axis, which is the red line. And then I'll go into edit mode and I'll select edge selector, yeah, and which is the second button. And then I'll select the back edge. I'll press E to extrude the edge and then Z to extrude along the blue line, which is the Z axis. And then I'll go back into object mode and then go to modifiers, which is the wrench icon, and I'll add a bevel and increase the amount and the segment so it looks like a backdrop. And then I'll click on the arrow and click on apply. If I zoom in, I notice that there are lines here. So if I right click, shade smooth, the lines disappear. So now I'm going to go to render preview, which is kind of the final result. I'm going to take the light and I'm going to delete it. Then I'll do Shift A, add a light area, and then do GZ to bring it up. And then I'll go to object data properties, which is the light bulb, and change the power to 500. And then I'll probably do GZ to bring it up a little bit more. All right, and then I'll do Shift D and then do G and then X to move it kind of over here. And then what I'll do is I'll change the colors. I'll do GZ to bring this down, right? And then I'll also take the light and give it a certain color. So maybe something like, I don't know, yellow. I think maybe would be better if I had a material for the backdrop. I'll make it metallic, so 1 for metallic, and then roughness, I'll bring it all the way down so it's shiny. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll probably take this and bring it a little bit more downwards here, bring this one a little bit more downwards here as well, and then I'll take this one and do something like, I don't know, like a orange? Or maybe something like this would be cute, like a pink. I think I can do that. And then maybe bring them closer to each other. I mean, the more lower they are, it's kind of looking like this, but I think it would be better if I do Shift D and then R X90 just to have one in the front, GZ to bring it up, GX to move it over here, DGY to move it kind of backwards, and then instead of it being pink, I'll just have it be white. Whoops. Something like that. So I'll do GY here. Trying to get and play around with the lighting. What if I don't have GY? Does it look more yellow? Let's see. If I do GZ, this becomes that. Let's do Control Z. I don't know if I like that. I mean, if I move the roughness up, the more smooth it is. There we go. That's the key to move the roughness up. So maybe 0.5 is fine. Maybe something like that. Oh, okay, that could work. All right, I'll do S and then X to scale it, and then maybe delete this light. I think that's so much better. And then I'll go into front view by pressing the button under the escape key and hovering over front, and then doing Control Alt numpad 0. Now what that does, it aligns my camera to the view. If you don't have a numpad, you go to Edit, Preferences, Input, and you emulate numpad at the top. So you check that on. To get out of this view, middle mouse button. To go back into the view, numpad 0. So I'm just going to align this a little bit more, kind of like so. So maybe something like this. Maybe I want it to be more in the middle. And I think I might just change this hex color. Instead of yellow, maybe something like this. It would look a little bit more prominent. And that's it. So now I'm going to go to render and then render image and then wait for the result. And this is it. Now I'm going to just save the image. And that's it for today. Bye.